Welcome into Texans Today. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and we have a jam-packed show on tap for you today. Of course, we're talking about the rumble at Texans practice, the fight. We'll break that down. We have exclusive footage from a Texans fan on Twitter. Graciously allowed me to show it on the show today, so we'll do a little film analysis, a little breakdown of the fight today. Also, the latest around Texans training camp, the latest news and rumors that you need to know. And there's a lot going on around the NFL, so I thought I'd end today's show with just a little circle around some of the top storylines around the NFL, because there's some pretty big news as other teams are starting their training camp practices this week. But hey, if you absolutely love that the Texans are getting chippy, if they're just getting after it at practice so far, go down and like the video, because hey, go ahead and don't hit the like button. Go down and punch that like button right now, because I know, there's some people out there, oh my God, they're fighting at camp. I absolutely love that the players are getting after it. The tenacity is there. The level of competition during Texans training camp is there. I mean, there's no complacency around this team. A lot of people are saying, oh, this Texans team, they're expected to be one of the top teams out there. It's not kumbaya at camp. All of these guys are going out there and earning their spot on the roster, just like D'Amico said. CJ Stroud, he's talking that talk at camp. He's talking that shit to everybody. Kamari Lassiter, him and Stefon Diggs have been going at it all throughout camp. This is what he had to say on some of that camp trash talk that he's had this year. He said, I just stand on business. So if there's smoke in the air, I'ma blow it. Diggs, he's just a guy who really loves the game. He's just really passionate about what he does, and he lets it be known. And I like that, because I'm the same way. Texans, they're standing on business right now. They're saying, hey, the guy across from me, we might be on the same team, but I'm going to show him up right now. I'm going to show him what's good. And if you didn't see it already, shout out to Rob, a.k.a. @YouGoodBro on Twitter, for letting me use his video. He had this great angle of the fight at Texans camp, which we're going to show you right here. So it starts off, comes off the heels of a hard hit from Jimmy Ward on Stefon Diggs, and Derek Stingley just takes a cheap shot at Dalton Schultz, and everybody starts going at it. Stefon Diggs kind of before this went down on a catch, and Jimmy Ward hit him with a good shot, but you see it here, Dalton Schultz, he's taking his hat off. Derek Stingley doesn't like something, and he comes up and he whops him, and everybody gets into it. That's what you have during these training camps, these intense practices that you have. Everybody's fighting for their spot. Everybody is fighting throughout all of camp, going offense versus defense. It's really it's one team, but it's really two teams at this point, especially in a lot of these drills where it's offense versus defense. It's, we don't want the wide receivers to show us up. We don't want the offensive skill position players to show us up. So a lot of tenacity, a lot of, pent-up aggression with these two sides, and I absolutely love it. I love these guys getting after it. I don't know if it's just me, being a former football player. You like it when there's a little bit of that rustle and tussle in practice. It lets you know that these guys care, that they are all in on this football team, and they are trying to get better each and every day, and they don't care who's in their way, even if it's on their own team. So if you think the Texans are going to stand on business this year against every single team that they play, go drop those H's down in the comment section, because with guys like Stefon Diggs, with guys like CJ Stroud, Kamari Lassiter, all these Texans players, they're standing on business this season. If you agree with that, go down right now, spam those H's down in the comment section. Now, a little bit more Texans news and rumors from camp today. He didn't just get in fights today. Derek Stingley Jr. also made a couple nice plays. One being an interception that he had while guarding Tank Dell. He kind of was with them stride for stride and almost looked like he was running the route for Tank Dell. Looked fantastic during training camp practice today. I really liked what I saw from Derek Stingley. He looked really good. Another great video, if you haven't seen it already on Twitter. Nico Collins makes an absolutely ridiculous catch up against Kamari Lassiter, to where he catches the ball and in the same motion does a kind of, cut juke move inside and runs it up the sideline. Great catch there by Nico Collins, showing off a lot of, nimbleness for a guy who's 6'4", 215 pounds. Love seeing some Nico Collins highlights from camp. And another great spotlight from camp today, Desmond King, a punt return touchdown. So maybe he kind of takes the reins there as the punt returner for this Texans team going into next season. Would love to see that. Would love to see him maybe get a special teams touchdown this season. So those are some of the more highlights from Texans training camp today. We'll get into more Texans news and rumors in just a moment, but I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors over at Game Time. Go check them out today. They are the #1 ticketing app that I use here on Texans Today. You want to make your life more like a movie? Well, this past year, Game Time has helped me do just that by helping me get floor seats to Adele and Drake and see Shane Gillis and Dave Chappelle live. All those people, I mean, you can't do it anywhere else. You got to do it over at Game Time. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And I'm telling you right now, this is the date night hack. If your girl is saying, hey, I want to do something, I want to get out of the house, hey, go check on Game Time. They have events under $50. You can, look for sporting events. You can look for shows, comedy shows, theater events, all in your area today. And I also love whenever you're going to Astros games and you're like, what are these little things next to them? They show you if there's special nights. Like, we all love a Dollar Dog Night. We all love a Dollar Dog Night, and it'll show you if it's a Dollar Dog Night, if they're having fireworks, if they're having a special, T-shirt or bobblehead giveaway. They'll have that, and they have the Texans preseason games and regular season games already up. So if you want to get your tickets in advance, they have it for you there today. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with our friends over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Now, Shaq Mason, he's been a little bit under the radar, but this is actually from yesterday's practice. Tytus Howard, after practice, gave some very high praise to Shaq Mason, and I've been saying it all along. I really love what he brings to this Texans offensive line as another stalwart on this team. We have, obviously the left tackle, but Shaq Mason has been holding it down at right guard. Tytus Howard saying he's probably one of the best guards in the league, and I think one of the stats that he pulled up was Shaq Mason has one of the most highest snap counts in the league since like 2017. So he's very, very reliable, something this Texans offensive line desperately needs. Another offensive lineman in the news, Laremy Tunsil, the NFL Top 100 is, slowly releasing their list, ranked 71st on the list. And, he had something to say during the episode. This is what he had to say. He said, I feel like I'm the best left tackle in the league and have been the past 3 years. And Laremy Tunsil, I've said it once and I say it again, when it comes to pass blocking, I think Laremy Tunsil is by far the best left tackle in the entire National Football League. Now, when it comes to all around, maybe you can have an argument for a Trent Williams. He's obviously very good for the 49ers, but Laremy Tunsil is a fantastic pass blocker. We saw what he did against Myles Garrett last year, shutting him down. Do I think he could have been a little bit higher? Yes. I would put him maybe in the 50s or 60s, but as it comes to left tackles, I really do believe when it comes to pass blocking, there is no one better than Laremy Tunsil. Now, getting on to some injury news, John Metchie, we obviously saw Nico Collins back at practice today. John Metchie, though, was at practice but worked more on the sideline with some of the injured guys, so don't know exactly what he's dealing with, but was sidelined today again at practice, something that we're going to have to keep an eye out on going towards the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game against the Chicago Bears. Just something you should keep an eye out on is John Metchie. And same with Joe Mixon. Did not practice today. Dameon Pierce filling in for Mixon as the RB1 so far in Mixon's absence. Dameon Pierce looking really good throughout camp as well. He's been filling in as the RB1 while we wait for Joe Mixon to come back from that soft tissue injury. And maybe the biggest news of today's video, Cam Akers has a handshake with C.J. Stroud. Yeah, we know C.J. Stroud has a handshake for every single skill position player on the Texans team as of right now. Cam Akers, welcome to the team. You officially have a handshake with C.J. Stroud. I was getting worried there, Producer Joey. I didn't know if he was going to get the handshake with C.J. Stroud, but Stroud came through, obviously, best leader in the entire NFL, has a handshake with everybody. He made sure to take some time out and get a handshake done with Cam Akers. Now, coming up in just a moment, a crazy day around the NFL. I wanted to break down some of this news and notes from around the league, but we have a content alert coming up. I have an interview with a former Texans player coming this week. I want you to go down in the comment section and guess who it is. He's a fan favorite, a former Texans player, played with the team for a couple of seasons, and the only clue I'll give you, Hard Knocks. That's the only clue I'll give you. That's the only one you'll get. Hard Knocks. So let me know who you think it is down in the comment section. That interview should be coming out maybe Friday or Saturday this week, but stay tuned. That's why you got to hit that sub button, turn on your notifications, so when the video drops, you'll be the first person able to watch it. So keep on the lookout for that Texans player interview that I have coming up later this week. Now, a crazy day in the NFL. Absolutely crazy. First, Aiyuk not practicing. He's at practice, but on the sideline waiting for that deal from the 49ers. He really wants a new contract, and it seems like he wants to be traded still. I mean, there was the reports that he asked for a trade earlier last week, and the 49ers have no intent on trading him, but he wants to play for, he threw out the Steelers, he threw out the Commanders, he's throwing out multiple teams that he would want to be traded to. I don't think the 49ers end up trading the wide receiver. I think he ends up playing with the 49ers this season, but will he get a long-term contract like he wants? I'm not sure. Another wide receiver. We're talking about Stefon Diggs being a diva. And look at the first two. Two wide receivers not practicing. Not saying they're divas, but you get the gist. Ceedee Lamb, he's not even reporting to camp yet. Aiyuk was at practice. He was on the sidelines in his street clothes. Ceedee Lamb said, no, I'm not even coming to practice until we get a deal done. Apparently reports are that he is in the California area where Cowboys training camp is in Oxnard. But Ceedee Lamb said, you know what? I'm not showing up to practice until I get that new deal inked. So some other divas at the wide receiver position not getting what they want, along with a pass rusher in Haason Reddick. This one might be one of the weirdest ones out there. Haason Reddick got traded from the Eagles to the Jets because he wanted a new contract, wanted more money on a deal. And the Jets, for some reason, thought, you know what? He didn't want to play his last year of his contract with the Eagles. Maybe he'll just want to play his last year of his contract with us, and that is not the case. Reddick might get traded again. He does not want to play on the last year of his deal. He wants more money. He wants a new contract, and the Jets did not, think that through. I don't know the situation there in the Jets front office. I guess they just thought, oh yeah, he'll definitely play for us if we trade for him. So it turns out they traded for a guy who still wants the same thing, the same exact problem that he had with the Philadelphia Eagles, he's having with the New York Jets. So there's a lot of trade rumors about Haason Reddick out there. Obviously, it doesn't make sense for the Texans to do anything like that, but some huge news for another AFC team that is supposed to be a contender this year in the New York Jets. And another news note that I have for you, Texans, I thought they might sign a receiver, obviously, before the whole Stefon Diggs thing. I talked about Michael Gallup here on the show. He ended up actually signing with the Raiders and retiring. He retired last night. So Michael Gallup, no longer a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, retiring from the NFL. Just a crazy 24 hours in the National Football League, and it's about to get even crazier as more and more teams start their padded practices, start reporting for training camp, and we get closer and closer to the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. Shout out to Andre Johnson, between the Texans and the Chicago Bears. That's all I have for you on today's video, folks. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can do so at Jeremy Chuggs. As always, my DMs are open. And if you haven't already, we already passed 15,000 subscribers. Let's get to 16,000 subscribers. Go down and hit that sub button for daily Texans content all year long. You can go down and hit the sub button or go to youtube.com/TexansTV for Texans content all year long. Stay tuned for that player interview later this week. And until next time, let's go Texans.